this video, I'm gonna go over how to perform a labial release on yourself. Before we dive into that, let me go over a quick overview of the anatomy. So what you see here is the anal sphincter, or the anal canal. This area here is the perineum, or the perineal body, and extends laterally into the superficial transverse perineum on both sides. And then here, right here is the labia minora. What isn't shown on this model is the labia majora. So when we're working on the labia majora, we're just gonna be here and here. And when you are treating the labia majora, the fascia extends into the other vulvar structures. So one way you can release the fascia here is to place your fingers on either side of the labia and then assess the directions of restrictions. So go on either side like this with your fingers. And you're going to sink into the barrier. So remember, it's going to be a light pressing inward into the body. And then you're gonna assess how the fascia feels pulling up. So you're gonna pull up without sliding your fingers. And then check up into the sides. You're gonna keep the sinking in, but you're gonna pull up and then laterally to feel if one side moves easier than the other, if you notice any sensations when you pull to one side. And when you feel a restricted spot, really down here, a lot of people have restrictions everywhere, so you can't really go that wrong. You're gonna wait there.
I would say too, to even test downward. So test pulling up, test pulling down, test pulling out. And even once you, let's say, find a direction where you're like, this definitely feels the tightest, I'm gonna guess, let's say up would be for me. Then you can also challenge out or different directions while you maintain the in, the up, and then figure out, is there another direction laterally that is stiff? Maybe it's not, and then you just kind of hang out and you'll hold wherever you feel that. But just remember, you're gonna be feeling and maintaining the depth down as well as into the direction. And as the tissue releases, it may continue to release more in a downward way or in a directional way.
The other hand hold that I commonly utilize myself as well as have my patients utilize is placing both hands or both sets of hands on one side and focusing on one side. And what you can do is you can use both hands as reinforcement just because this gets tiring, or you can align your hands like this along the labia, sink in and pull apart. So basically she would sink into the right side of her labia. Her top hand here is pulling upward while her bottom hand is pulling downward. And it's such a small area, so you're not forcing anything. It's super light and it's subtle, and you just wait. Ideally, the minimum wait time is 5 minutes or longer. And as you stay patiently waiting and sinking into the tissue, you'll notice potentially heating up. You can notice softening in the area. Particularly if you have any scarring in this area, you might feel heat and releasing. And if you notice, when you notice releasing, you just follow it.
And as it releases, keep relaxing. You may notice the intensity can build. As long as you can keep breathing and relaxing, the intensity is okay. It's if you are beginning to tense everywhere and it feels just way too overwhelming, that's when you need to just ease off a little bit of your tension.
If you have any questions about this technique, leave a comment, reach out directly. Otherwise, we will see you on the next video.